everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of What to Watch. I'm Savannah Jones.
And I'm Rex Ravita.
And I'm Denis O'Hare, Sir Denis O'Hare.
Today we have Emmy-nominated and Tony-Award-winning actor Denis O'Hare joining us. He plays Henry in the new upcoming American Horror Story season, American Horror Story New York City, which premieres in just a few days.
Just to kick things off, take us back all the way to the beginning. How did you join American Horror Story and what drew you into the series?
I don't even know what year it was. I got a call from my agent and from Ryan Murphy asking me to look at the script for Murder House and playing Larry. And all I know is that Larry had like half his face burnt off, and he claimed to have killed his wife and kids and burned himself. And that's all I knew. And it was crazy. And I was like, yes, I will do this. And so I jumped into that world. You know, it was the first time anyone had ever done a series where it was going to be, and they said, we wanted you to give 2-year contract. And we said no, only because I didn't know I was doing the next year and I had a gig I had to do. So we said we would do a couple episodes the next year. But also none of us knew what it was going to be. And my understanding was that the next year wouldn't be the same characters. And we were like, what? So it's a series, but not the same characters? What is that? You know, I ended up doing, God, 7 seasons. And we you know, that was never done before, the idea of playing a different character with the same actors and having a different season. And now it's become so normal that people forget that. But at the time, it was really a weird setup. I remember having a big news conference for it in LA, and the journalists just didn't get it. They were like, so wait a minute, you mean next year it'll be different stories? But why would people come back and watch it? And you're like, oh, they'll come back and watch it. They'll come back and watch it.
Season is obviously New York City. Being a New Yorker yourself, were you excited to see New York City as the focus, or how did that make you feel? What were your thoughts?
You know what? I'm no longer a New Yorker. I live in Paris now. I left. Mr. Trump kicked me out. I refused to be in this country with him. And so when he got elected, we took off. And so I'm an expatriate. I did live in New York, however, for, my God, 26 years. And, you know, not only is it New York, but it's New York in the early 80s, which is a really cool period. I mean, depending on, not everyone looks good in those clothes, but the people who do look good in those clothes look good in those clothes. Although I think they look good in any clothes. But, you know, big sideburns, longish hair, bell bottoms, kind of, a lot of polyester. It's an amazing vibe. You know, I came to New York for the first time in my life in 1981. So it's really kind of weird to be doing a show set in 1981 in New York, because I remember what that was like. I can't say too much else about it. We do have a component that ends up on Fire Island, you know, and Fire Island is its own thing and its own particular vibe. And that was really fun to do.
Yeah, so you kind of already touched on it, but you know, you play so many different roles in this series. Which role do you think was your favorite? And can you tell us any little detail about your new character this season, Henry?
In terms of favorite characters, you know, it's sort of hard to say, only because I don't want to offend the other characters. I don't want to like make Larry mad if I say that Liz is my favorite character. I don't want to make Spalding mad if I say that Stanley is my favorite character. That being said, I think playing Liz was, you know, a really powerful experience because she had a beginning, middle, and end. She had a death scene. She had a love story. She had happiness. And that to me was something I hadn't gotten with Larry, for example. I never really got that with Spalding. We didn't really get a lot of his backstory. Stanley, you know, there was some stuff we shot that got cut that sort of showed Stanley's life before, and that would have been really cool. So Liz to me was a great opportunity to have a big character, but I loved Larry. I just loved because he was the first. I love Spalding because he's such a freak and I like freaks. So, you know, they're all different for different reasons. I like them all for different reasons. As far as Henry Grant goes, my character this year, all I can say is that he's got amazing clothes. They made all the clothes for me. They are incredible. They're like, my color range is like salmon and powder blue, and I wear vests, and I have big lapels, and I have an amazing head of hair. So you'll see.
So it's now been over a decade since the very first season, and people are still so excited for every new season. What do you think it is about American Horror Story that keeps everyone so enthralled every single year?
I think part of you don't know what's going to happen, number one. You know that whatever happens is going to be really, really, crazy and effed up, that Ryan will do things that no one else will do. You know that at some point on like episode 3 or 4, you're going to go, what? That some character is going to lose their head or their fingers or their spleen, or something really awful is going to happen, and you're going to be amazed. I think that the show is really good at ratcheting up the excitement really, really fast. It's not a slow burn like some shows. You don't have to wait around for something exciting to happen. Episode 1, something exciting is gonna happen. And also it's unique worlds, whether it's Cult or whether it's Coven or whether it's Stanley and the Freak Show. These are really unusual worlds. We don't always get to see these worlds. And I remember Asylum, Asylum was such a specific period, the 60s, the music they picked. And so for this episode, you're going to be in a new world. It's going to be new music. It's going to be new look. And I think people get excited about exploring the world. You're going to hear some music in the soundtrack from this thing, and you're going to go, I want to hear that music again. I want to hear more of that band. And I think that's really a cool thing about it. It's not just the story, it's the cultural setting as well.
All right. So being one of the OG cast members, you've seen plenty of actors come and go throughout the series. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to see, if you want to say?
To come, you mean who's not in this year, or to come back?
Yes, to come back.
I love Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates and I had an amazing time together, especially in a hotel, and I would love to work with her again. I love working with Jessica. She was amazing. I love Evan Peters. He's always up for something. He's incredible to work with. I love Finn because Finn was my boyfriend in one season, but also he's a great actor. Sarah Paulson can do no wrong. So of course it'd be amazing to have her back again. Max Greenfield was fun. He was really, really, really fun. Danny Houston, I remember him. He was the Axeman in season 3, The Coven. He's a great actor, and I just think he's got a great spirit. Gabby Sidibe, I had a riot with her. I love her. Want to see her back. Want to see Angela back. Angela Bassett, but she's busy doing something else. So many great people. Lance Reddick, who Lance Reddick is? Lance did a voodoo priest, I think, in Coven. He's a wonderful actor, and it'd be great to have him back. All of them. Bring them all back.
So this new season has been described as the deadliest season yet. It's one of the only details that have really been put out there. Is there anything at all that you can reveal about that to us?
Well, there's a lot of killing. There's a lot of maiming. So yeah, it's pretty deadly. There are elements of the season which are fantastical, which I think are really cool. And there are some surprising, non-real aspects to it, which I think are unique. That's all I can say about that. But I think that's, that'll be really fun. Also, some really wonderful actors who you haven't seen before on Horror Story, who are superb additions to the cast, which I think will be a joy for everybody.
Yes. So before we wrap everything up, is there anything else you want to add or promote?
I don't know. Like my brand, like my personal hydrolyzing cream. I don't have anything. I don't do that. I don't have a brand. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude. You know what? I will promote this because I love it. The Nevers. I did Nevers on HBO. And we did 6 episodes, and kind of got messed up because of COVID. So they showed those 6, and then we couldn't do the back 6. But that's coming back out in December. It's a sci-fi Victorian girls with superpowers kicking ass series on HBO, which I adore. It's headed by an all-female cast. I think it's super well done and super compelling. I love the actors, Laura Donnelly, Anne Skelly, Ben Chaplin, James Norton, just a great, Olivia Williams. My God, how can I forget Olivia Williams? A great British-Irish cast. And it's a great show. It kind of like itches all those things, sci-fi and superpowers and fantasy and great period drama, period dress, some sex, stuff like that.
Awesome.
Definitely
Well,
sounds
thank
like
you so much for joining us today. We're really happy you could reveal even just a little tiny bit of your new character in the new season. And I'm definitely excited to see this Wednesday.
Yes,
I can't wait for you guys to
how
watch.
it pans out.
It's going to be something. It's going to be a ride. So hold on to your seat.
Ooh, okay. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, you guys. Nice to meet you both.